All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're uncovering exactly how threat actors are weaponizing internet domains to steal some of your most sensitive information. I'm putting on my cybersecurity expert hat for this one because we aren't just looking at this from a victim's point of view. No, we're going to look at it through the lens of threat hunting and domain intelligence. We're tracking a highly sophisticated digital supply chain of fraud, and believe it or not, it starts right at the very foundation of how we browse the web. So picture this. Have you ever applied for a job, filled out all your personal details, polished up your resume, confidently hit submit, only to realize later that the company and the job itself literally didn't exist? It's a terrifying realization, right? Because you haven't just wasted your afternoon, you've just handed over a complete, neatly packaged dossier of your personal identity straight to cybercriminals. And guys, this isn't just some rare hypothetical scenario. We're talking about a massive industrialized operation targeting the digital labor market. Just to give you an idea of the sheer scale of this threat, look at that number. Over 500,000, 510,259 user database rows. We're talking names, phone numbers, emails, birthdays, entire employment histories, all stolen by a single cybercriminal group known as resume looters in just a couple of months. And how did they pull off this massive heist? Primarily by setting up deceptive internet domains that perfectly mimic legitimate recruitment portals. Okay, here's our threat briefing itinerary for today. First, the fake job trap. Then, hunting threat indicators, followed by verifying website authenticity. After that, we'll get into the domain registrar problem, and finally, the legal takedown. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the fake job trap, deception by design. The visual deception these attackers use is absolutely brilliant in the worst way possible. For instance, a totally legitimate Indian Railway recruitment site can be cloned to look virtually identical to a fake one. A fake that successfully scammed 10,000 applicants into paying bogus registration fees. Threat actors rip off the visual design, they steal the official-sounding language, and they use a domain name that is often just a single tiny character swap away from the real deal. When you're excited about a career opportunity and moving fast, it's so incredibly easy to miss. Moving right along to Section 2, hunting indicators, tracking threat domains. So as a threat hunter, the absolute most crucial thing you can do is learn these indicators of compromise, or IOCs. You really have to train your eyes. Take typo squatting. An R and an N squished together look exactly like an M at a quick glance, right? Boom, you've got Microsoft. Then there's hyphenated suffixing. Real government sites use .gov.in, but scammers trick you by jamming a hyphen in there, like Sarkari result gov. It totally exploits the fact that most of us don't memorize standard domain hierarchies. And finally, subdomain layering. This is where attackers just spin up unauthorized subdomains on generic regional sites to mimic highly trusted job portals. Let's actually break down the exact anatomy of the resume looters attack. It usually starts with an attacker finding a flaw, like an SQL injection vulnerability, in a real, legitimate recruitment portal. Because the site isn't checking user input properly, the attacker injects a malicious cross-site scripting, or XSS, right into public-facing fields, like a skills profile. When an innocent platform administrator opens that profile, the hidden script executes, instantly stealing the admin's active session. From there, it's game over. They pivot, establish typo-squatted phishing forms, hide behind proxy services, and silently siphon out whole databases. They go from one simple website bug to stealing your entire digital life. All right, let's jump to Section 3, Verify Authenticity Defensive Protocols. As someone who works in cybersecurity, I literally cannot stress this enough. You have to actively hunt for the truth before you hit apply. Step 1, really scrutinize that contact page. Send a test email. Does it bounce? Step 2, look for certified security trust seals. And don't just glance at them, actually click them to make sure they aren't just fake images. Step 3, run that URL through tools like the Google Safe Browsing Transparency Report. It takes 2 seconds. And step 4, if you have even a tiny sliver of doubt, pick up the phone and call the company or government office directly. Never assume a job posting is real just because the website looks professional. Which brings us to Section 4, the registrar problem, systemic enablers. Think about the internet's address book as a giant pyramid. At the very top, you have the big regulators like ICANN. But our main focus today is right in the middle, domain name registrars, or DNRs. These are the storefronts, the companies you pay when you want to register a website name. They are the ones directly handing out the keys to these deceptive sites. And honestly, the system is pretty much unregulated at the point of sale. Well, the Delhi High Court recently took a really hard look at this mess, and they pointed out a glaring problem. When registrars blindly hand out highly sensitive, official-sounding domains to totally anonymous users, they aren't just innocent bystanders. The court noted they are effectively encouraging and facilitating cyber fraud. It's a massive risk to public safety. And here is the part that's really going to frustrate you. Many of these registrars are actively cashing in on this deceptive ecosystem. How? By selling premium lookalike domains with well-known brand names at a massive markup. By upselling privacy protection features that literally cloak the identities of criminals. Some even bundle in marketing and SEO services to help these scam sites rank higher on Google. And the absolute kicker? When a court finally forces a registrar to take down an illegal domain, some of them just toss it right back into the available pool to be sold again, double dipping on the exact same threat. Digging into the investigations, you see that these privacy services act like a digital smoke bomb. When law enforcement tries to track down the scammers behind a fake job portal, they just hit a brick wall. The registrant details are hidden, the contact info is totally fabricated, and the operators vanish into thin air. If one fake domain gets blocked today, they just spin up a mirror domain tomorrow because their real identity was never exposed. It is the ultimate, never-ending game of whack-a-mole. Finally, let's look at Section 5, the legal takedown, the ex-ante turn. To stop this ridiculous game of whack-a-mole, the Delhi High Court has stepped in with some really strict, unprecedented mandates for domain name registrars. First up, to protect everyday users, they are demanding mandatory eKYC, that's Know Your Customer, verification for new registrations, meaning no way should someone be able to buy a domain impersonating the Supreme Court without showing a real ID. Second, they've slapped a strict 72-hour deadline on registrars to hand over verified registrant data to law enforcement when a fraud is reported. And lastly, they're ordering the permanent blocking and suspension of rogue domains, so they can't just be recycled for profit. This regulatory shift? It's an absolute game changer. For years, registrars have hidden behind what's called safe harbor protections, basically saying, hey, we're just the neutral middleman, don't blame us. But the court is officially saying no more. If a registrar consciously promotes infringing domains or ignores basic KYC and blocking orders, they lose that immunity. They become legally liable as an active participant in the fraud. So let me leave you with this final thought to chew on as we wrap up this explainer. If the very infrastructure of the web, the domain name system itself, allows total anonymity for attackers to build these massive deceptive traps, just how safe is your digital identity right now? The good news is the tools to stop this are out there, and legal precedents are finally being set. But until the entire internet ecosystem steps up and adopts these accountability standards, it's really up to you to be your own threat hunter. Stay vigilant, always double-check the authenticity, and whatever you do, don't let a fake job portal steal your future.